restless dreams. I see that town. Silent Hill.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself. Is she really alive? Waiting for me?
Silent Hill 2 left an indelible mark in the hearts and minds of gamers and secured a place in the pantheon of best horror games ever made. Now, after watching both trailers quite a few too many times for my own sanity, we really haven't seen much. It's like 5 minutes tops combined, and oh boy, mixed feelings is the name of the game. But before we go that, I would like to discuss a little detail. I saw a lot of people worried with the second trailer, assuming that the game will have an emphasis on combat, but I really think that was a out-of-touch Konami decision, since that they have been out of the game for so long. And I'm hearing birdies, and cats probably, or it's just James, I don't know. Are you there, James? Where was I? Oh right, Konami. Out of touch Konami. So they seem to have been out of the game for so long that they just forgot how the art of marketing works. They saw how people reacted to the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 remakes. How the gameplay was so beloved, and they were like, oh, maybe we should focus on this too. Except that it seemed like they forgot what game they were talking about here. In the scale of importance, the combat is like bottom of the priorities for a Silent Hill fan. It really doesn't matter. Silent Hill 2 is 50% narrative, 30% atmosphere, psychological dread and enemy meaning, 19% sound design and soundtrack, and then we get 1% for the combat. It just needs to be functional and not be a buggy mess. That's it. Now, if the game comes out and is focused on combat, then we will be here to criticize Bloober Team. But until then, I really think this was a decision made by Konami and doesn't reflect how the game will be. Now, talking about both trailers, I would like to talk about and focus on the following points. Visual presentation, James' emotional exposure, let's call it that. Faithfulness to the original, the voice acting and soundtrack in general, the camera, and the actual combat itself. Starting with the visual presentation then, and I think that the game looks tremendous. They seem to have utilized the resources of the UE5 engine pretty well, and despite the visual downgrade from the first to the second trailer, I still think it looks very sharp and with a good usage of assets and lighting effects. Now, the fog does look kinda weird, it looks more like smog to me, but there's time to fix that. Regarding the animations, some look pretty out of place and stiff, but we'll talk more about that when we talk about the actual combat. Now, on to James' facial features being slightly too featured. Well, I have no major problems with this, and considering what James goes through in his journey, I can imagine him being this expressive, no doubt. I believe that they took advice from Masahiro Ito in this part, it just makes sense to me. And how much they could expand the character without stepping out of line. Maybe Team Silent also wanted to showcase James' emotions a bit more, and they couldn't due to the technology of the time, which is something that can be addressed on the remake. Now, yes, I know, James' almost stoic-like nature is a part of the story.
Okay, I got it. I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But there's also moments in which we can clearly see a different side of James, in which he's showing sentiments of pain and overall sadness, almost like despair. Wow. So I believe that if they treat this with care and don't overdo it and implement it in a logical and only in pivotal moments of the story, it will work out great. Regarding the faithfulness to the original, I think that they did a pretty good job from what we saw. The location seems to be expanded and with quite a few extra layers to the overall aesthetic, but at the same time they seem very reminiscent of the original. Just like they did with the RE4 remake, I think that expanding the map a little bit, adding an extra area here and there, while keeping the overall feeling of the original layout is the best way to appeal to both new players and fans of the original. Now, concerning the actual tone of the game and the nuance of the story, that's a different story. Pun unintended. Damn it, I'm so bad at writing scripts. Regarding that, I'm a bit worried because on one of the walls you can read "Reap what you sow," which is a very on-the-nose thing to say, especially since I'm almost certain that wall belongs to the apartments and that it is way too early to talk about any story-related plot point. Now, and I'm saying now a lot of times, and I'm sorry about that. But now, if you played the original and you read about it, you know that there was little something that Team Silent scraped from the moment when you defeat the first enemy and pick up the radio. And that tells you that they thought going that route was dangerous for the impact of the story itself.
Oh yeah. This thing broken? What the? I'd better take it anyway. I might need it.
They decided to go with expertly crafted narrative subtlety, and I hope that Bloober Team follows the same path, because bluntness does not work with Silent Hill 2. Heavy graphic nature visually, light, extremely subtle narrative hints. Always. Now, the voice acting is a tricky subject. Like I said before, there is a clear, almost like disconnect from James to reality. And that part was captured in a very unique way with the original voice acting.
What is it?
Oh. Nothing. Sure is quiet here, huh?
I guess.
And I really would love it if they brought back the same voice actors. But seems like that was not possible and they went in another direction. From what we heard, which was very little, James' voice actor and delivery seems to be well done. And it goes well with the overall more emotive side we've seen of him. Mary's delivery, on the other hand, I wasn't much of a fan of. but we only heard like one sentence from her, so very early to judge. We'll see when the game comes out. Mary's delivery from the original game while reading the letter during the credits did hit me pretty hard. So there's like this emotional connection there, but the same can be said to the entire original cast. So let's take it slowly and see what this cast delivers before we judge. Concerning the soundtrack, it sounded great. They brought back Akira Yamaoka and I'm 0% worried about this part of the remake. I know that he will nail it like he always does. The sounds, the actual songs, they are a little remixed but very akin to the original, so awesome.
I'm ready.
I imagine you will introduce new tracks as well, but always with the essence of the original. And of course, during those aforementioned pivotal moments, the original soundtrack will make its presence known. What's next? Oh no, I'm lost. I'm in Silent Hill! What happened to my script? Okay, right. The camera, that's a very important one. Well, I was quite annoyed when I saw that they went with the over-the-shoulder camera for the remake, despite understanding why. I just hope that they have a classic fixed camera mode for people who want to play the game that way, and not just keeping it as a little secret. The camera style from the original is actually very unique. It mixes fixed camera angles with a free-floating camera that you can recenter and position behind you on almost every situation. This allows them to make the camera focus on important parts of the scenery and make them the primary focal point. This is extremely important to the overall tension and cinematography of the scenes. It's like you're looking at a painting that is framed just the way the artist wanted. And considering how important symbolism is to Silent Hill, I fear some of that art will be lost. Heck, look at recent games like Tormented Souls and a game that hasn't even come out yet but the demo did, Hollow Body. They did fixed camera angles so well, it's amazing. But what annoys me the most is that Bloober Team, yes, Bloober Team, made the medium, which has, imagine, a fixed camera angles, and they are very well made. So I really don't understand this departure from that style into a more broad one, but like maybe we are being unfair and they will allow you to play with the original fixed camera angles, unlike a New Game Plus or something like that, to add more replay value. Especially since we are probably going for all the endings, let's be honest. Talking about the actual camera angle we saw, it's fine. It's fine. It's used in a lot of games, and if well implemented, it works just fine. It just works. It just works.
And it works, it actually works perfectly. All of this just works. You failed!
Insert a random thought hour in the screen. Now, for the big one that everyone was talking about, the actual combat. If we can call it that. Well, it looks pretty rough, to say the least, unfinished, with a little hint of lack of polishing. Well, for the melee combat, I actually appreciated what I saw. There seems to be a heft to the 4x4 swings, the enemies react to them, the actual animations for James seem okay-ish. No major complaints here. The stomp on the ground seems pretty similar to the original, so no complaints there either. Now, for the weapons of the shooting kind, not so good. They just sound muffled, like they have a silencer on them or something. But I did some research and seems like that's easily fixable, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. The actual power of the shots seems very lackluster, like they have no potency behind them. Except for the rifle, which seems to be packing quite a punch. Like, rifle packs a punch for all the other weapons combined. It's like, the heck are they thinking? The actual animations though, now that is more worrying. The way James aims his weapon, the way he shoots, the way his arms are not in a natural position. It just seems so clunky, so stiff. Like I'm looking at this dollar store game, like this $10 game from Steam. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. At least, to give them some credit, they got the iconic head shake from the nurses down to a T. They even got some possible disintegration when they get shot, which, avoiding spoilers here, is a very cool detail if you know the lore of the nurses and what they actually have over their heads. I don't know if I should give them this much credit, but I'll believe that's the case. Now, parkouring nurses aside, which look very fancy and slightly out of place, their movements seem awkward, but we need to watch more gameplay to be certain of it. I also saw a lot of people worried with the press X to get rid of enemy trope that was shown, but I really don't find that to be the worst thing in the world. As long as it is only used to get away from enemies that grab you. It's not ideal, but it's no big deal either. Now, apparently this last trailer, the combat trailer, is from a pretty old build. Like 1 year levels of old. And I don't need to tell you, that's a pretty long time. Pretty long time. Especially when it comes to developing and polishing a game. I'm saying this because if this information is correct, they had plenty of time to fix these issues and get a much better game to show for themselves. Now, I don't know why Konami decided to show this potentially 1 year old footage to us, but maybe they were just a tiny bit worried about launching a trailer 10 months ago. Because Resident Evil 4 Remake was being marketed a lot, and there was going to be a lot of comparisons between both, and well, Silent Hill 2 looks quite a bit less impressive than Resident Evil 4 Remake, to put it lightly. Or maybe they are going with the reverse marketing strategy, the geniuses, showing how not great the game looks, and then the game comes out and it looks so much better. The people are like, whoa! My goodness, that's amazing. I don't know, Konami is just out of touch, I guess. Which I guess makes a lot of sense, since there was this 7 seconds clip on Twitter showcasing a scene from this game. And not only does it look quite a bit better in regards to the animations and even the graphics, but also the tone, which is very important. It's not about combat, it's about building tension. Maybe that footage was from a modern build, who knows. I just want to wait for the game to come out, play it, give it a fair chance, and then judge it for what it is. But until then, I'll continue to be hopeful that the remake will respect the original and be well made. That's about it. What are your thoughts on the trailers? Are you excited for Silent Hill 2 Remake? Or are you pretty worried? Leave your opinions down below. Thank you very much for watching and for always being there for me. Despite me being very away lately, my health is not helping. But I'm better, and I hope that I can come back to making videos more often, because I really miss this. Despite never knowing how to make videos, but I truly miss this. Making videos makes me happy. Words, they fly like the wind when I'm in front of the mic though, but this feels very nice. Seriously, it feels very good. Yeah, thank you very much for watching and always being there for me. I know that they already said that, but it's true, so I'm going to say it again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Keep it civil in the comment section, please. We always like to keep it civil in this channel. Hope you have a lovely day. See you around. And like always, be good people. Peace!